So Lena, please let me tell you first that this is not exactly the same version that I have, so I don't know how it flows, and probably Chris can help you a lot as well, but there are some slides that I've made originally, so I'll just give you the commentary for those specific slides. So usually I kick off with always the same introduction, which is Swissborg, a world where blockchain, smart contracts, proprietary algorithms, along with the most experienced team of financial experts and tech-savvy programmers and developers have one mission, which is to shape the new era of wealth management. And today I have a very daunting task, which is to take the vision of our true thought leaders and try to break them down so that you can see that vision as well. I'll do my best. So today we're going to talk about three important aspects. We're going to kick off with a macroeconomic perspective, a very large, big picture perspective. After that, we're going to zoom in a little bit and look at financial markets specifically. And then we'll focus on how companies like Swissborg can shape the new era of wealth management. So let's dive right into it. Having a look back at the past century, we can see that in most Western countries, capitalistic models have dominated the markets, helping technological revolutions, helping economic growth. And there are some features that go along with this. These markets are very, very competitive, highly competitive. They're based on private ownership, but also most of these companies tend to focus on product and services. They're very product centric. So company A will develop a product, company B will develop a product, and they will compete as much as they can to create the best products. But these days it's quite different. The biggest companies by market cap have created a new business model. Let's take, for instance, Amazon and compare Amazon with what used to be the retail giant of the world, Walmart. As you can see here, not only Amazon has had way more exponential growth than Walmart itself, the market cap has also surpassed Walmart. And rather than focusing just on products and services, they have created an entire platform, an ecosystem that creates different opportunities, a new marketplace for different people. Another example we can take is Airbnb and Marriott hotels. What are the similarities? What are the differences? While they both have for goal to provide accommodation to their clients, there is one big difference. As you can see here in this chart, despite the fact that Marriott hotels have a century of experience and Airbnb have barely a decade, Airbnb has had more exponential growth than Marriott in just 1 year, from 2014 to 2015. Now, once again, Airbnb, how could that happen when Airbnb doesn't own a single hotel? Well, there's one thing that they do very, very well on top of platformization is they have created swarm intelligence and a meritocratic platform where people, based on their contribution, are rewarded. And this is something that they do extremely well because there is also proof of ID. So this is a slide, a picture that Chris is missing, but I have another slide that he should add to show the power of swarm intelligence and real swarm intelligence and not just paying people, paying agencies to write false reports. That is the power of blockchain technology. I don't know why he has that there. But in summary, so how do we awaken the Swiss sleeping giant? Well, number one, if you want the business model of the future, rather than building just a product, you have to focus on building a platform, an ecosystem. On top of that, you have to make use of your community by swarming in their intelligence, rather than giving all the power to shareholders or executives. There's always someone out there that has a better idea than you, so why not take advantage of that? But on top of that, you need to reward them. You need to build a meritocratic system so that on top of being intrinsically motivated to help you, they will actually get intrinsical motivation as well. So they'll put more time and more effort in helping you out. Now let's zoom in and talk about the financial markets and how the evolution will go from here. So this is all Christoph's work. Alina, so I'm sorry, I can't really help you with this, the history of finance. So he can probably cross-train you about this, but here's very simple. Why is it that as of today, we have to go all the way to our bank for a bank transaction, which goes through multiple unnecessary intermediaries that not only add to your costs, hidden costs, but also add to the delay in terms of transactions. While thanks to blockchain technology, it can simply be done from one wallet to the other's wallet, direct peer-to-peer transactions. This slide, usually what I tell them is like, okay, imagine yourself in terms of investing in a product, in a fund, and an ETF. So you have to go all the way to your bank. And your bank will not only have tons of hidden fees, discretionary management where things are not transparent, but on top of that, they will be discussing with other banks, or at least the bare minimum, a custodial bank, a broker dealer to find the specific funds or ETF that you're interested in buying or stocks. And then these will also communicate with the exchange. Well, you know this, Alina, you come from a banking background. But my point here is something that I add something that maybe Christoph doesn't mention, which is not only all these back and forth unnecessary steps are here, but on top of that, what's worse is this part, the very first part, accessibility. Now, why is it that in order to invest in a ETF, you need $50,000? Why is it that if you go and try to invest in some mutual funds or you go to the Wall Street banks, you need at least $2 million, $3 million? This is totally unfair, and this is the biggest problem that we can solve is we cannot make sure that everyone invests for their future. But what we can do, at least at the bare minimum, is to ensure financial inclusion, to make it accessible to all. If someone wants to invest a few dollars, then they should have the right to. This is pure human rights. So accessibility is key. This, high net worth individuals, why is it that less than 1% have more than a third of the wealth around the world, global wealth? This, as well. This is a breakdown. So here, just to show you how much potential companies like Swissborg have in this market with smart contracts and blockchain technology, and then talk about the breakdown and how only 0.27% of the world have a crypto wallet. So that's barely nobody. So once people actually get into it, although people know about this phenomenon, not many people are actually invested in it, which shows that, with emerging markets, more internet access, more and more of the unbanked will access, and which will stimulate growth. Here's a great quote. You know what this means. So to sum it up, how do we awaken the sleeping Swiss giant? Number one, no more hidden fees, no more discretionary investments. Everything needs to be transparent so that the investor feels reassured. Number two, and the most important point, is accessibility. Whether they would like to invest or not doesn't really matter, but giving fair access to anyone is something that should no longer be neglected. Democratization, giving a voice to the people so that they can actually influence decisions made by the board. And simplicity is something we didn't really cover here, but how about making investing as easy as taking a selfie from your phone and sending it to a friend? Having the most user-friendly UX and UI so that millennials and all people who really prioritize simplicity and convenience will be willing to participate. And this is about Swissborg. You know all of this stuff. The rockets that have already launched means that these are working products and revenue streams, um, or at least working products. And here, I like to focus on the ICO platform 2.0 because it's an update from the platform we used to have, where everything's automated through smart contracts. And on top of that, we're looking into developing an STO platform, a securities token offering, which we believe can have incredible impact in the future. And talking about that, here's the reason why we believe it would have. These are all basically tokenizable assets. So gold, crude oil, real estate, and some private equity has already been tokenized. And to show that if just a little percentage, if you take the total of this, this is over $300 trillion. So if you take even just 5% of people who convert from the legacy outdated ways of going through all the unnecessary legal and financial costs and paperwork and start using the tokens that already evaluates the market at above $5 trillion. So huge potential. And this is a true dream come true. A little bit more further thinking. Um, we intend to build a smart wallet that will have a financial engine, which basically means that we will be able to offer investment products from your smartphone, where you do not necessarily need access to any exchanges, and everything will be automated through our proprietary algorithms. Plus, you can get investment support. So, everything from retail banking to investment banking, all in one device. This is how it would work. And then blockchain and chain, and you know the rest. All right. And this here one point, Alina, was basically that we've grown from 10 people to over 25 people working full time in just 4 months. We're very proud of the team. And every project and product that is being developed simultaneously at this moment is connected to the CHSB token. And why is this token so important? Well, number one, it has multi-utilities and it gives a voice to everyone who owns it where they can participate in referendums. But on top of that, they're rewarded in more CHSB tokens, in Ethereum tokens or future ICO tokens that we will be onboarding through our platform. So, and on top of that, blah, 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 and you know the rest. Now, before ending, there's one key thing that I really like to share with you all. Our catchphrase used to be made in Switzerland but owned by the world. But unfortunately, after launching our ICO, we faced and hit the most biggest bearish market in the crypto space. We went from 700 trillion to under 300 trillion. But despite the bear market, we have an amazing community of people who still believe in us and they support us. And the reason why is because they know that number one, we have the business model of the future. Number two, we understand the financial markets of the future. And number three, we have created. So basically a summary of the 3 points that awaken the sleeping giant. And to honor these wonderful people, we would like to use their own made phrase, which is, "We are Swissborg." Thank you very much and join the community. That's about it. If you have any